You would probably think we were nuts if we told you that being successful is actually easier than being mediocre. And hearing this ourselves, we can understand why that sounds crazy. But you know what? Crazier things have happened, and we can confidently tell you that this is no exception. Mind you, we're not here to blab about how success equals wealth and power and how you can achieve those. If that's what you're thinking, then we're sorry to disappoint you. We're here to discuss what it really means to be successful and how to get there. But don't just take our word for it. Relax and listen to why we believe being successful is an easier feat to achieve than being mediocre. Welcome to Alux. What does it mean to be successful? Is there really a general answer to this question? Nah, we don't think so. The fun tidbit about the word successful is that everyone can define it the way they see fit. Growing up, your parents or peers may tell you that being successful is to be wealthy, while the celebrities you see on TV every day would tell you to pursue fame. Success can be as simple as getting out of bed and going to work early. It's about doing the things you need to do to grow, and that changes from person to person. To you, it might be marrying the person you love and starting a family. After all, finding and marrying your soulmate is certainly not easy in our books. Another measure of success is from an educational standpoint. Your degree would start you on a path to where you've been dreaming about since you were a kid. So what are we trying to say in a nutshell? It's simple. There's no limit to what constitutes being successful. Everyone has different chances to be successful every day, and that includes you and me. And okay, know this too. Nobody, no matter how wealthy and popular they are, gets to define what success is for you or anybody else. Because here's the thing, they've been giving you the wrong concept of success for years. Everyone wants to boast about their own notion of success, so they'll be projecting their own definition of success onto you. But what is it that makes people mediocre? Is it about dealing with failure? Well, let's talk about that next. What does it mean to be mediocre? You may have heard the word mediocre and think it's somewhere between success and failure, but this is where you'd get it all wrong. Mediocrity occurs when you can't even say if something or someone is wonderful, poor, ordinary at any one time. And this will lead to our understanding of the word mediocre. A mediocre individual is someone you can't describe as excellent, a loser, or ordinary at any one point in time. They're not exceptional, poor, or average in any way. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Did you notice how we said you can't describe them? If I can't say Paul is great, or a loser, or average, then what is he? Well, Paul is mediocre. Are you picking up what we're putting down here? You might be asking yourself now, how can someone exist in none of these three states? Well, that's a pretty good question. At this point, we've given it a lot of thought, and the only explanation we have for why a human cannot exist in any of these three situations is consistency. All right, let us explain. If Paul is consistently good at what he does without fail, you can call him great. If Paul's performance is consistently bad, he is, to put it mildly, poor. If Paul is consistently in the middle of the spectrum without blinking an eye, you can say he's average. Mind you, average does not equate to mediocrity. Let's try another example with Paul. If Paul usually gets high scores in exams 8 out of 10 times, you can say, well, he's great. If Paul usually gets low scores in exams 8 out of 10 times, you would say, well, he's poor. After all, you wouldn't want to claim him great, even though he's had a couple of great performances in exams. Then, if Paul has an overlap of great and poor performances, you wouldn't call him poor nor great, so you can call him average. When you can't tell whether Paul is great, poor, or average based on 10 performances, that demonstrates Paul's mediocrity. Why? Because inconsistency is a hallmark of mediocrity, and Paul was not consistent in any of the three instances. So now you know that mediocrity isn't necessarily failure. It's more like not caring enough to be consistent. Consistency is the key to success. Well, you might know that already, but telling you about the principles is equally as important. All right, so what are the principles of success? It's not easy to achieve success and have an effect on the world. If that were the case, everyone would be doing it, and we both know it wouldn't be much of an accomplishment then. That might sound counterintuitive based on what we've said so far, but bear with us. You'll find that those individuals you tagged as successful developed some habits that made them achieve their goals. So let's talk about a few of them. 1. They take advantage of introductions. How many times have you ever taken advantage of being introduced to someone? Because there tends to be a very good reason anytime someone introduces you to another person. Successful people take advantage of those opportunities since they know it could lead to tremendous possibilities. It's all too simple to overlook an introduction or fail to follow up on it. This could end up being a squandered opportunity to form a meaningful friendship with someone who shares your interests. So always try to take advantage of being introduced to someone new. 2. They surround themselves with like-minded people. You should know that surrounding yourself with great people is a step toward being a great person too. In fact, we recommend you start doing so if you haven't already. There's a reason why many successful people were friends before they became famous. They've made an effort to surround themselves with people who can motivate them and accelerate their success from the start. So it's time to start playing video games every day with your friends and surround yourself with people that can help you grow. Number 3, they read books. The smartest people are continuously learning something new. There's an infinite amount of knowledge, and reading is a must if you want to keep improving and learning new things. Most individuals create excuses for why they don't read much. We think it's kind of funny because most successful people avoid making excuses and instead focus on personal development. Oh, and one more thing. Case in point, building this channel and making these videos took a lot of research. Number 4, they constantly adapt. You'll know you're not growing quick enough if you can't look back 6 months and see a completely different person. Have you asked yourself why successful folks like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are always learning and adapting? They are willing to break through boundaries and modify aspects of themselves in order to be better, happier, and more productive. And you know there are other countless successful people out there that we can name that have these same qualities. 5. They always set goals. Setting goals is underappreciated. Some people refuse to invest time because they don't believe it's worthwhile. Can you imagine not having any goals for yourself? Setting goals has the advantage of helping with the alignment of actions. It forces you to consider what you're planning to achieve and why. Those who can set goals are more productive and focused in their endeavors. This leads to increased output, success, and greater influence. 6. They pursue their passion. One thing to keep in mind about successful people is they don't live out other people's dreams. They follow their own passions. This provides them with the drive to tackle each and every day with everything they've got. It also gives them the freedom to think for themselves. Life improves dramatically once you accept that you can't please everybody because you gotta think for yourself. Spending time doing what you enjoy allows you to produce the highest quality work while also making it much easier to maintain consistency. But if these are some of the things it takes to be successful, why are most people still stuck in mediocrity? Well, let's take a look and find out, why do most people get stuck in mediocrity? This is a pretty big question that rings in the mind of most people, and the truth is, there are several reasons for this. Many people simply don't want to evolve and adapt to the new normal, and you can't grow if you're not willing to evolve. Do you remember in the old days when communication was done through fax machines? We wouldn't be talking to you today on YouTube if things didn't take the next step and evolve. Your days should be filled with high-value activities on a regular basis. The more you balance the few vital elements in your life and remove everything else, the better. People do what they want and eat what they want regardless of how it affects them by rationalizing their actions and behaviors. This is, to put it bluntly, a path to mediocrity. As your image of yourself grows, you'll see you'll need to make some changes. You need to stop wasting your money and time purely on nonsense or amusement. You should find ways to invest more in your life and career. Mind you, we're not talking about perfection here, okay? And it's certainly not about being a workaholic either. In fact, true success necessitates what Tim Ferriss refers to as mini retirements or regular sabbaticals. However, what can you expect your life output to be if your daily activities are continuously low quality? The quality of your actions communications must improve. Your interpersonal interactions must improve. Every aspect of your life has an impact. Hence the old adage, how you do anything is how you do everything. So I guess it's time we tell you why being successful is much easier than being mediocre. The answer is quite simple. Successful people help and drive each other to more success. Even their competitors spur them to be relentless and pursue more success. But how can someone with mediocre tendencies compete with the vast majority of people fighting for scraps? If you are successful, you'll find it easier to navigate the world since successful people do it together. But how can someone with mediocre tendencies compete with the vast majority of people fighting for scraps? If you're successful, you'll find it easier to navigate the world since successful people do it together. And now, Aluxers, you stuck with us until the end, so we're going to wrap this up with a bonus as always. Here are some examples of how successful people have actually driven other people to success. 1. Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. Most of us witnessed how Bill Clinton notably assisted Obama in winning his election and navigating the political landscape. Clinton is said to have assisted Obama in fundraising, endorsing him in speeches, and giving him advice on how to win over other people. And it was simply a case of one famous friend assisting another in achieving success. And 2. Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. Bill Gates and Steve Jobs were well-known competitors, but they were also close friends. They had known each other for years, and Bill Gates revealed in an interview that Steve Jobs had aided him in his career advancement. Surprising, isn't it? Well, you shouldn't be surprised. Bill Gates' success was reportedly helped by Steve, providing him with a source of competition. Both of them were always competing, and their healthy competition allowed them to attain enormous achievements. Even though Bill Gates claims that Microsoft invented tablets long before Apple, he agreed that Steve Jobs assembled it better, which helped him to grasp what was lacking in his own invention. Even with competition, you gotta trust the process. Alright, Aluxers, that's all for now. We hope we've gotten you thinking about why being successful is way easier than being mediocre. We'll leave you with this quote from Nelson Boswell, which says, "The difference between greatness and mediocrity is often how an individual views a mistake."